Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well informed. We all know that feeling, right? You're scrolling online, shopping, you see great style, maybe something listed as ethically sourced, and you're hoping for an amazing deal. It's tempting. But here's the big question, and I think about this a lot. How do we really know if an online store is legit? Can we trust what we see? Today, that's exactly what we're doing. We are putting WexleyLondon.com under the microscope. It's an online shop presenting itself as like a trusted place for timeless, eco-friendly fashion. They talk a lot about style, sustainability, and here's a key thing. They claim 15 years of experience. Sounds pretty established, right? Okay, so let's unpack this. Our research team, they've really dug into WexleyLondon.com. We're going to walk through what they found to help you figure out if this site is the real deal.
Yeah, and it's a great focus because honestly, what's fascinating here is just how many different ways you can check credibility online, especially when a site makes these really appealing claims, stylish and sustainable. Those are buzzwords people really care about now. It's all about, looking past the shiny surface, past the marketing talk, and seeing what's really underneath.
Absolutely. And speaking of those claims, let's dive right into the first big one. It's kind of the bedrock of their story. This claim of 15 years of experience, they put it right out there, front and center. It suggests they're stable, knowledgeable, and trustworthy. That kind of history, it's meant to make you feel comfortable handing over your money, isn't it? Like, okay, these guys aren't new. They know the ropes.
Yeah.
But how do you even check that for an online store? What kind of digging did our team actually do?
Right, that's the key question. For any online business, their digital footprint tells a story. So when a company claims that kind of history, one of the simplest checks is their domain registration. Our team used what's called a WHOIS search. If you haven't heard of it, think of it like checking the land registry for a property, but for a website address. It shows you when the domain name WexleyLondon.com, in this case, was actually registered. It's a basic tool, but really powerful.
Okay, a WHOIS search. Makes sense. So what did it show? Did it match their 15-year story?
Well, this is where things get interesting and pretty clear-cut, actually. Despite that 15-year claim, the WHOIS record for WexleyLondon.com, it shows the domain was only created in July 2025.
Wait, sorry, July 2025, as in like this year, or even potentially next year, depending on when you're hearing this.
Exactly. Not 15 years ago, not even close. We're talking months ago, at best.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not just a small difference, like they rounded up. It's a massive gap. And that immediately throws up a huge red flag. It basically undermines their entire origin story right from the start.
That's pretty brazen, actually, to claim 15 years when the digital proof says otherwise. And it's so easy to check.
It is. And it makes you wonder, right? If that foundational claim is demonstrably false, what else are they not being straight about? It suggests, well, a deliberate attempt to mislead, not just some error.
Okay, so the 15 years of experience is looking extremely shaky, to put it mildly. But, all right, let's say, hypothetically, they were a new brand. We'd still look at what they're selling, and crucially, at what price. And their prices. Well, they're almost as eye-popping as the timeline issue. Our team found the site just overflowing with deals. We're talking up to 80% off on almost every product. And then on top of that, extra discounts if you buy more stuff. Now that sounds amazing, especially if you're thinking sustainable fashion, which usually costs a bit more. You might think, wow, ethical clothes at a spiel.
It definitely hits that psychological button, doesn't it? Everyone loves a bargain. But while sales are normal, even big launch sales, this level of discount up to 80% off across nearly everything all the time, it's a different pattern. It often works as a tactic, really. A way to create urgency, make you feel you have to buy right now before the deal vanishes. It rushes you.
So it bypasses that critical thinking part of your brain.
Exactly. You're focused on the saving, not on questioning the source. And this is a classic move used by let's call them less than reputable sites, scammy sites, as our sources put it. They lure you in with these unbelievable prices. But think about it logically. If a brand claims sustainability, claims quality, those things cost money to produce, right?
Right. Ethical production, eco-materials, that's usually more expensive.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So how can they sustain offering 80% off almost constantly? The math just doesn't work for a real long-term business in that space. It strongly suggests the value is an illusion. It's a warning sign, not necessarily an opportunity. When deals seem too good to be true.
They usually are. Okay, strike two. A fake history and prices that don't add up for a legit sustainable brand. So what about the actual products, the clothes themselves. You'd expect a fashion site, especially one banging the drum about style and sustainability,
Yeah.
to have really nice original photos,
Yeah.
and show off their stuff. What did the team find when they looked at the product images on WexleyLondon.com?
Ah, yes, the visuals. This was another really revealing part of the investigation. What our researchers found was that the product images, well, they weren't original at all. They appeared to be copied directly from other websites, other platforms.
Copied images, so like stock photos or pictures lifted from other brands.
Exactly. And that's a huge issue. Think about it. A real fashion brand, they invest a lot in photography, showing the unique design, the fabric, how it fits. If a site is just grabbing images from elsewhere, it immediately raises the question, do they actually have these clothes in stock?
Or do the products even exist as they show them?
Precisely. It strongly suggests that they don't have their own inventory, or maybe even any inventory at all. Our sources confirm this is a really common tactic for fake websites. They build a convincing-looking store using stolen photos, but they have no intention or ability to actually ship you anything. Or if they do ship something, it might be completely different from the picture.
Wow. So you could order what looks like a beautiful, sustainable dress and get nothing, or something totally different.
That's the risk. It completely destroys any trust in what they're actually selling. It's like a restaurant using photos stolen from Michelin-starred places. You wouldn't trust they have a real kitchen, would you?
No way. Okay, this is just getting worse. Fake history, unbelievable prices, and now maybe fake products shown with copied pictures. It feels incredibly opaque. But let's talk about who's behind this site. With any real business, you expect some transparency, right? Like who owns it, who runs it. Did our team find any information about the people or company behind WexleyLondon.com?
This is another critical piece, and the findings here were stark. When the team tried to find out who owns or operates WexleyLondon.com, they found nothing. Absolutely zero information. No owner listed, no about us with team details, no company registration info, no physical address, just a void.
Nothing at all. That seems odd for a business wanting customers.
It's more than odd. It's a major red flag in the online world. Transparency is crucial for trust and accountability. Think about it. If you have a problem, your order doesn't arrive, the product is faulty, who do you contact? Who is responsible? If the ownership and contact details are deliberately hidden, it makes it incredibly difficult, maybe impossible, to seek any kind of resolution. It strongly suggests they want to be hidden, perhaps to avoid responsibility or legal issues. It makes you question their legitimacy, fundamentally. You need to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Hiding like that screams, don't trust us. Okay, so Fandom history, impossible discounts, likely fake product representation, anonymous operators. It's painting a pretty damning picture.
Yeah.
But what about the court of public opinion? Customer reviews. Nowadays, before we buy almost anything, we check reviews, right? See what other people experienced. Did our team find any customer feedback for WexleyLondon.com, any chatter online?
You're spot on. Customer reviews are often the ultimate litmus test. Social proof is huge. So our team did exactly that. They searched everywhere you'd expect. Trustpilot, Reddit, forums, social media mentions, looking for any real user experiences with WexleyLondon.com.
Did they find anything? Raves, rants?
They found silence, complete and utter silence. Zero real reviews, zero discussions, zero customer feedback anywhere.
Wow, zero. For a site claiming 15 years in business, that seems impossible.
It's highly, highly suspicious. Think about any legitimate online store, especially in fashion, that's supposedly been around for over a decade. They'd inevitably have some kind of online footprint from customers. Good reviews, bad reviews, questions, mentions, something.
Yeah, even a terrible company usually gets talked about somewhere.
Exactly. To find absolutely nothing suggests either they haven't actually been operating for any meaningful time, or they haven't had any real customers, or both. It completely contradicts their claim of being an established, trusted platform. This lack of any social proof is, frankly, one of the biggest warning signs of all. It's like they don't actually exist in the real world of commerce.
Okay, let's recap everything we've learned from this deep dive then. It's been quite the journey. We started with WexleyLondon.com, presenting itself as this established, eco-friendly fashion destination with 15 years under its belt. But the research uncovered major red flags, one after another. First, that 15 years experience, totally debunked by the domain registration showing it was created only in July 2025, a huge discrepancy. Then, the unrealistic discounts, up to 80% off practically everything, looks less like a great deal, more like a classic scam tactic to rush you into buying.
And not sustainable for a supposedly sustainable brand.
Right. Then we have the copied product images. which strongly suggests they don't actually have the inventory they're showing. Maybe the products aren't even real.
A serious lack of authenticity there.
And there's no transparency. Absolutely no information about who owns or runs the site. Makes you wonder who we'd even complain to if things go wrong.
Accountability is zero.
And finally, despite claiming all that experience, 0 reviews, complete silence online from any actual customers, which is just weird and suspicious. So putting it all together, what's the bottom line for you, the listener? Our sources are pretty clear. WexleyLondon.com shows multiple significant signs of not being trustworthy. Honestly, it looks highly suspicious, carrying many hallmarks of a potentially fake or scam operation. The strong advice is to avoid buying anything from them, certainly until they could somehow prove legitimacy, which seems unlikely given these findings.
Absolutely. And this whole investigation, it really serves as more than just a warning about one specific website. It highlights those key things to look out for anywhere online. That false history, those too good to be true discounts, the generic or copied images, the hidden ownership, the lack of any real customer feedback. These are the red flags you need to keep in mind. So the question for you is, moving forward, how can you use these 5 indicators to protect yourself? What quick checks can you do next time you stumble upon a new online store that seems just a little too perfect? A bit of healthy skepticism and knowing where to look, well, it can save you a lot of trouble. It's about being an informed, critical online shopper.